that we are a democracy, and under democracy, under the parliamentary rules, under the constitution, there has to be a dialogue. There has to be opinions that have to be sought. There has to be these opinions that have to be included, and they must. There is transparency that is required, and there would be transparency. But why do you think that Waqf is required? Does Waqf actually have a status in United Arab Emirates or in Indonesia or in Malaysia or in Bangladesh? Why do you think that this should continue and not bring in massive reforms in Waqf in India?
I will talk in the perspective of India. In our constitution, Article 26 provides for freedom to manage religious affairs, wherein the clause B it states that to manage one owns affair in the matter of religion, to own and acquire movable and immovable property and the charitable properties for the purpose of religion. Then, if the fundamental right is being provided to every community, whereas it is or Hindu endowment or a Sikh endowment or a Buddhist endowment, why the government want to interfere in the Muslim community's charitable property in the name of Waqf Reform Bill?
Well, RP Singh wants to come in here on this question also. RP Singh, that why not reform, why not change with the times, bring in equality, bring the Muslim community, if they think that they are not there, to the mainstream as well. And you know, UAE is doing it, other countries are doing it, why not India?
Well, first let me call the bluff. This is Waqf is not a religious body. Waqf is a property management body. Who told him that Waqf is a religious body? Waqf doesn't manage masjids or schools, not even schools, forget. I mean, they don't manage anything except managing the properties. So where does it come that Waqf is a religious body? And what religious subjects Waqf has during all these years touched, or they have spoken on any religious subject? It's the other leaders, clerics who speak on the religious subjects also. So there's a difference between the endowment bodies and then the Waqf, the board. They're two different bodies. There are two different parameters they run on. One. Secondly, see, we are not against that Waqf should not be there. I mean, unlike other countries you just mentioned where there's no Waqf board and there's no way to manage Waqf property, the Muslim properties and people who want to give donation of their personal properties. But issue is that it should be managed in a fashion where it should be used for a public advantage, for Muslims, advantage of Muslims at large, for advantage of the Muslim women and the Muslim children. That's required. And what's wrong? Are they against the properties being used for Muslim women and Muslim children? Let them say so.
Junaid Khan, you have a response, and also I want to understand from you what will be your future course of action. The protest in New Delhi is okay, but what else are you trying to do constitutionally?
The present Act of 1995, where in Section 2 it is provided that the application of Act, I will read for the BJP spokesperson, save as otherwise expressly provided under this Act, the Act shall apply to all Waqf, whether created before or after the commencement of the Act. I want to know that under which religion, apart from the Muslim community, the term Waqf is used. If the Waqf properties are not related to a particular religious community, then for what was the purpose of creation of the Act of 1995, which was created? And
tell me,
going to your second question, where what will be the future course of action?
Tell me role of Waqf board in the religious subject. Tell me the role of Waqf board in religious subjects. Tell me that. Tell me, except managing the properties, how does Waqf board interfere or guide the Muslims on the religious subject? What was the Waqf board's reaction to triple talaq? Give me a second. Hold on now. What was the Waqf board reaction to triple talaq? Was there any reaction by Waqf boards in the country on the triple talaq? Nil. It was only the clerics who were speaking. And then, give me a second, sir. You try to create a demand where there is none. You try to paint something like which is not there. The fact is, just purely a property business which has been run by certain individuals. Now they are in trouble, and then leaders who used to manage all those property business are feeling troubled because they know that now these properties will be used for the betterment of the poor Muslims and the women and the children. and then they will lose that control on the electoral process which happens, and they try to use them as a tool for the electoral objectives.